Okay, now can you hear me? I don't know what is happening. Wait, is that the right mic? Okay, now can you hear me? I don't know why my mic, nothing is working. I had this all set up. All right, let me figure out how to get my camera up here. 1 second. Okay, is this working now? Okay, that's the right mic. My camera's on. Present. Extra camera. I did it. I think. Okay. I literally had that all set up. I don't know what happened. Thank you for your patience. Where's my little member screen at? Everything went away. All right. Now we're ready. Good morning. Let me make sure this is still saying my voice is going. It is. Okay. Let me go back up to 10:30. Message and song from Grandmother Marie. Message and song from Grandmother Marie. Oh, anyone who ordered this deck, it is on the way to me. It should be here by the 4th at the latest, possibly the 1st. You'll know I'm near when you hear my name in the strangest places. Some moments are so powerful they echo forever. It feels like someone else is coming along to remind you of a memory with this person. When I Look to the Sky by Train is the song. Does my spirit guide have a name? How would I tell you how to locate the name of your spirit guide? I don't usually get names, but we'll see what I can give you clue-wise. At one of your most vulnerable moments when things were very slow, it feels like there was a name that was either showing up as a guide prominently, or this is a name that was showing up like someone around that time that would have a similar name to the guide, if that makes sense. Like someone who helped you around that time. Let's say they had an A name, the guide, that's the direction I can lead you in, would have a similar name. Token, please. Bowling ball and number 888, because it's 88 and then there's an 8 on the bowling ball. It feels like there's an opportunity to show up for yourself differently, either in a conversation or in an intellectual pursuit. It's like you're finally taking that chance on yourself in a bigger way. Messages from my mom and a song. Message from my mom and a song. What do I want you to do about it? Push forward. What you seek is waiting for the right moment to surface. What we learn in life becomes the legacy we leave in spirit. So there's an answer of sorts right around the next bend. There's encouragement to keep pushing and not get complacent in the search for those answers or resolution of sorts. How does my higher self advise that I view and think of my dad's narcissistic wife? She has and continues to wreak havoc on my family. I have boundaries and I'm moving back to their area this summer. Moving back to their area. This is like making the decision to not deal with it as much as possible. Like not putting yourself into a situation where you feel like you're going to be emotionally drowning, not putting yourself into positions where the decision feels to be out of your hand. So like, we're going on a road trip, let's drive separately so that if I want to leave, I can leave and I'm not stuck there being triggered. Like taking control in that way seems to be important. Like dealing with it as little as possible, because it's not something that is like in your arena to be able to change, but also having experiences that you can still control the time frame of, I guess. Message and a song. Message and a song. Oh, I have the wrong playlist on. Conquer by High Res. There's some kind of shadow wound coming to the surface here. You see the shadows in the background? It's like something coming now so you can release yourself from the defeat of the last time you faced the wound. Last time it felt like the wound defeated you. It's just coming back so you can defeat it instead. It feels like it defeated you by getting suppressed instead of faced, and now you're facing it instead of suppressing it. Should I join the spiritual circle starting in April, and will it be useful for my future line of work in mental health? I think I need a song. So Alive by the Goo Goo Dolls is the song. Should you join the spiritual circle starting in April? Is the timing off? Like, is there something you're avoiding by starting this in April? Is there something that would be better done before starting this? Either to prepare you for this, or something that in the rest of your life would be pushed off if you do this in April. Like, I do this over something else. Not that you shouldn't do this or consider something, but it just feels like there's something being put off in the process. It's like avoid getting yourself into a situation of overwhelm. But I would say if you can get all your ducks in a row, I mean, the moon is there. So it does feel like it'll teach you a lot about the subconscious, or like something relating to the unseen part of mental health. Like maybe getting to see it in action is a way to word that. May I have a message from anyone on my spiritual team? It's important to know when enough is enough. It's important to know when it's time to shift focus, because it feels like that time is now and you're seeing the signs, but you're like, okay, let me just try a little longer. I mean, let me just will the situation to change. It feels like there's a need to change the approach because the situation is kind of locked in, is how I want to word that. Message of guidance and a song. Sad Still by Quinn XCII. XC, what's C in Roman numerals? 20? Anyway, XCII. Message of guidance. Freeing yourself from a burden by looking at it differently. What is the situation trying to teach you that you may not have learned from it yet? Because the sadness will lift when you realize why you needed to go through a certain... This doesn't feel to be related to the family thing. It feels to be something that the family thing has triggered. So there's a need to kind of release the blame that you feel in that other situation, which will help alleviate the stress in the current situation. How does my daughter feel about me? How does my daughter feel about me? So this can kind of be read two ways. One, you have a lot of answers, but might not... You have a lot of answers, but she doesn't know how to translate them to make the best use of them. Or because there's like a lack of teamwork here. And it's like queen and queen. So it's like we're not seeing eye to eye, but see how she's pointing at her and she's like gesturing to her. It's almost like this feeling of like, you've given me a lot of opportunities, but I feel like I don't know how to work on the team properly. But with Queen of Wands in reverse, it's like there's major lessons in that for her, like learning that teamwork, it feels. Message from Grandmother Carmela. Message from Grandmother Carmela. What happened that you didn't see? Look for patterns. What happened wasn't random. You're going to notice random numbers of me surfacing just when you need reassurance. So there's some irony in this. That wasn't random, but there's random signs now confirming what you know about that not random event. It's almost like confirming through music. There was the Music of My Heart by NSYNC on the bottom of that. Like, figure out what you believe that means and she'll confirm it or further the message through music. Any message for me in a token or song? Brand New by Henderson. And the album title is Before It All Starts, Volume 2. That feels important. Before It All Starts. Cheese. Holy cheese. Holy cheese. That could smell. Three of Wands, planning. Three of Swords in reverse, release. Knight of Swords in reverse, a lack of conversation. Before it all starts, too. There's a need to prepare to have some kind of conversation. And it might stink to have the conversation, but there's a necessity to this conversation as well. Will the U.S. cash system be completely replaced by a digital system within the next 2 years? Completely replaced next 2 years. Completely replaced. It's not in the screen. Why is that so bright? Completely replaced. No, not completely, but a big step there. Five of Wands in reverse is like there's not a lot of other competition left. Like it's mainly that, but there's still Three of Cups in reverse, still a little bit of ways to go until the victory or like the full enchilada. I don't know why I want to say that word. Will it be within the next 2 years? It feels like the roots will really be there, but there's still some strategy that's going to be needed beyond that point to get it like fully that. Message from Grandma. Ooh. Message from Grandma. The phone booth with I'm sorry and I just called to say I love you is on the back of that one. I'm sorry, I just called to say I love you. Growth doesn't stop when life does. It just continues in a different way. I keep trying to show you in the way you feel my presence at random moments. So this isn't coming through as like an apology, although there may be one there, but this is coming through more like, I wish I could be there for you through something, and I feel the heaviness of not being able to be, because I feel like my support would be very helpful, but I'm trying to show you that my support is still there in different ways. That's how I read that. And there's also this message of like, what you water will grow. So be mindful of where your thoughts are going. Message from my spirit team. Message from my spirit team. You have a founded worry about something. Like you feel like here's to moving on by Dashboard Confessional. It feels like you're aware of a way that you need to be using your downtime differently, or something that needs to be built. And it feels like, or something that needs to be completed. Like it could be something like taxes, or it could be like something that you're putting on the back burner for a job project. But it's like there's some kind of pause right now, but there feels to be some kind of mental scramble about the pause. But the pause is so you can focus on the thing that's being avoided, if that makes sense. Oh, let me go to this list. Now that Nikki McCain case has turned to a homicide and is blowing up on the news and YouTube, what is her energy? Where could she be found? FBI and Homeland Security is involved. Could she be alive? Nikki McCain. Hold on, let me pull up a quick picture. Nikki McCain case. I don't know who that is. Oh, wait. I've seen this. I don't know if I really looked into it. Okay. I just wanted to see who it was. Okay, so what's energy about where she could be found, or is she still, could she be alive? When is this from? 2024. The power play, crossed agendas, Six of Cups in reverse, Page of Swords in reverse. The power play, deals made in the shadows with everything at stake. A choice between fortune and integrity. Somebody helped somebody else to cover tracks in some way. Or there's some element of another person helping in the disposal or the hiding of something. It feels like there's this energy of been moved. So been moved would lead me to believe not alive. I have false alibis on the bottom. Somebody wasn't where they were supposed to be. I would say someone close to the suspect wasn't where they were supposed to be, and it feels like that is a dot that, when connected, could lead to a location. Who is haunting me while I try to sleep? Are they good or bad? My poor cats are working overtime. These cards just came out over here. Is your house old? This feels to me like it's not something connected to you. It's something connected to the place that you're in. Ace of Wands in reverse. I'm not ready to leave yet. I have business to wrap up. But King of Cups in reverse, it doesn't feel connected to you. It feels like two different like worlds that are just joined from the place. That's how I would read that. It doesn't feel bad. It just feels like soul fragments not ready to move on yet, but it doesn't feel connected to you, which is weird. I'd be curious to know how long you've lived in this place before that happened, or before it started happening. Who was the lady who visited me in my dreams when I was a child, and why did she give me a kiss? Who was the lady? Who is the lady? Who in your family passed right before you were born? Someone trustworthy, never got to meet you as a child because I was overcome with some kind of illness. This was a hospital. Illness, injury. Feels like someone who passed shortly before you were born in the family. Or maybe not shortly, but like it felt shortly to them, but it feels more shortly, like literal, shortly. How do I heal the abandonment wound? I'm feeling very uncomfortable. What's it tied to? Religious trauma. Feelings of guilt, shame, or fear linked to past community or belief. Cognitive dissonance. So addressing that, what's being triggered right now that's triggering the abandonment wound so bad. It's like abandonment wound is here. So to not feel this, brain puts something over top of it. This is what is being triggered right now. It's being pushed on, which is causing this to feel triggered as well, right? So what's happening is you had this belief of what it meant for certain people to hold certain roles in your life. And because you're seeing that what you believed that was is not the reality of what's unfolding, that is where this discomfort is coming from. So there's a need to like reprogram what your mind is telling you about that. That doesn't mean you're unworthy. That doesn't mean that nobody will ever be there for you. What is that trigger making your mind tell you about your abandonment wound. That's where the discomfort is coming from. And if I had to take a guess, I feel like it's something along the lines of like, it's your fault, or you caused this, or you deserve this. I feel like it's playing out some way like that because of the current situation that's triggering the abandonment wound. So addressing that will help to alleviate that discomfort. Will April be a great month for me? And should my husband trust this guy who wants to self-govern to be free? Who wants us to self-govern to be free? Will April be a great month for me? You're finding a solution to something that felt like it kept making you do one step forward, 2 steps back. There's a solution coming to the forefront. The solution's not all the way enacted yet, but you're realizing it. Should your husband trust the guy? I'll say this. Yes, but be mindful of how much you commit to putting your control in someone else, putting your key in someone else's pocket. Like, make sure you still have control over whatever it is you're doing. So I guess I'd say trust this person's advice and guidance, but don't give them the opportunity to make decisions for you, is how I want to word that. Insight to quality and result of my drafted plan proposal for my ideal job, school wellness specialist, to send to private schools where I'm moving. Insight to quality and result. Insight to quality and result. Is there something that you're not all the way exploring or not exploring enough? I guess by exploring, I mean like explaining or like timelining or something. It feels like something could guarantee more so a victory, but there's some holding back on exploring it, holding back on putting it in there or putting it out there, or it's like something still needs to be sculpted. Something could be made better. Drafted plan. Is there a step further you could take it, or something else you could incorporate to back up what you're saying and the potential success of it or production of it or something like that? Like something else needs to be added is how it feels. Message and a song, please. Oh, I forgot to email you back. I sent you the deck, the one that you won the other day. I forgot to email you back. I'll do that. A tad bits behind on emails. Message and a song. Wake Me Up by Aloe Black is the song. It feels like you're waking up to what needs to be decided upon and the decision committed to action so that you can bring things back into balance. So it feels like what's happening here is like an uncomfortable revelation. It's kind of giving like hall of mirrors, like you're finally seeing which mirror gives the accurate reflection so that you can make changes to bring things back into balance. And then as long as you stand 10 toes down on what you decide when that revelation comes, because you may lose motivation, but you won't lose dedication if you commit to that change. Right, let me come back to this list. Lady in the Dream. Let the situation play out or do something. Oh. Let the situation play out or do something. Or do something. I'm not saying don't do anything ever, but I feel like you need to wait a little bit longer to do something because there's something you need to see. Almost like the gotcha moment, or like the, okay, like now I know when I say something, you can't argue against it because look now. So I feel like there's some benefit to waiting a little bit longer. Not to like prove your point per se in like a told you so way, but to prove your point still in like a, okay, I'm right way. Message from my ancestors. Message from ancestors. You won't be strapped onto the roller coaster forever, but there's a need to address the way that you are in survival mode right now and what that's keeping you from being in. If I'm in survival mode, I'm not at ease. So if I'm in survival mode and not at ease for 3 months, for 4 months, what is that doing to me physically, mentally, emotionally? And knowing that, what can I do to give myself the things I need, which I guess are these cards that just fell out. 3 of Pentacles, King of Wands in reverse. Support. There's a need to let yourself be supported right now. You're holding all of this in. There's a need to find a way to start to let it out to someone that you trust. Feels like too much is bottled in to the point where it's going to explode. Like the cards fell out. Like if you don't let it out, it's just going to come out in ways you don't want it to or don't intend it to. Message from Uncle G. He passed away. Message from Uncle G. What does Uncle G want to say? The cycle you're breaking is carrying burdens that don't belong to you. So addressing, hey, now that I'm over here, I'm going to help you realize what generational trauma it's time to put down. What happened that you didn't see? I've tried to show you in dreams. What image keeps repeating? How is he leading you to this realization? Through dreams. So there's going to be kind of a repeated theme in your dreams that's painting a picture to what you need to break. That's a cycle from generational trauma. And in some way that's connected to Uncle G. Uncle G's like, hey, I don't want you to deal with this anymore. Oh, The Reckoning by Need to Breathe came on in the middle of our reckoning time. Uncle G's funny. Message for this month, anything I should know, and a song. From a Distance by Bette Midler. I saw your email. I didn't get to respond to it yet, but I feel like this is in response to that email. Like the questions. Okay. Message for the month. You're going to have to figure out, it's like, okay, now I need to take 2 steps back, readdress something, protect all possible outcomes by preparing for them, and then take a step forward. So it feels like don't fear taking a step back to see the bigger picture or to readdress steps and planning. It feels like this is a month of looking at plans from a different perspective. Crows around my house lately. Were they sent and a message? That is not a bird. That is a bird. What kind of bird is that? I know it's not a crow. Probably a dove. 65. I was about to say, won't it be so funny if I pick a bird out of here? Because it's this whole big thing. Hold on. 65. Bird with leaf spring. Peace offering. Asking for forgiveness. Peace offering. Asking for forgiveness. It doesn't feel like a person, though. This kind of feels like shining light on an offer of love. A peace offering. Shining light on an offer of love. A peace offering. Are the crows a sign of something? Would there be something you need to forgive yourself for, and or something that you're hesitating to forgive someone else for, but it's really a relief for yourself to forgive this person? It feels like that's the message here. And there's 7 on this, the die that's laying there. It's like it's run its course type of thing. Like you've learned all you can from it. The house is around 25 years old. Can I help them? Are they not nice? Should I move? Okay, so the house is around 25 years old. Someone coming from a place of love. This bike wouldn't move very fast, right? So it's like, taking my time. This is literally someone sleeping on the couch in the living room. I don't know what that poster says in the back. Anyway. Three of Wands. No, I feel like this is just like they'll go when they're ready. Maybe there's a memory. Maybe they're waiting for someone. Maybe there's like a memory attached to the house. This just feels like I'm not ready yet. But it doesn't feel like I'm here to watch you. It just feels like I'm waiting for something. Like maybe they're waiting for someone to graduate or like get a job. Like they're waiting to, I don't know. It's like some kind of healing from seeing that. Oh, what did I just drop? Yeah, Nine of Wands in reverse. I want to experience this before I'm on the other side of the wall. That's how I read that. Now I just feel like time. Have my parents visited me? Have my parents visited me? That one really wanted to come out. Lean on Me by Bill Withers, and it's two people under an umbrella. Wrong, right. Heaven was needing a hero. So you asked a question, and they together are going to tell you if you were wrong or right. I see now that love was always more important than being right. The decision you're struggling with requires you to trust yourself more. Love was more important than being right. Okay, I'm going to word this like this. I feel like you asked for a specific sign from your parents and you did not get one. I feel like that sign came in a different way because they were trying to show you how they were going to communicate with you in a way that would be either more efficient or more like noticeable or accessible. I feel like this is them saying, especially because like the rain, it's like you felt some kind of sadness because you tried to feel them and felt like they didn't reach out with the message or sign you asked for. But it's like, no, they I don't know, we're trying to like establish a way of talking to you. Peace by OAR is playing, and a lightning stroke of lightning, a once in a lifetime, almost like the message caught you just in time, or whatever the sign was they sent caught you just in time. Don't stop until you find a way by Fearless Motivation. I'm not going to stop until I find a way to get to you. Is my cousin Kathy one of my spirit guides? My cousin Kathy, one of my spirit guides. Bigger Than by Justin Gesso. Bigger Than by Justin Gesso. I'm here helping you overcome the fear of being seen. Would it make sense if this person is helping you to overcome the fear of being seen because of specific lessons they had in their life that would help you in yours? It feels like that's kind of the confirmation because this person's with you with Knight of Cups. This is like, I'm offering you my signs, love, or advice, or whatever, with what? Fear of being seen, or fear of being perceived, or whatever wound that's attached to. A message for my vacation in 2 weeks to Costa Rica. Nice. Slow down and let yourself enjoy it. I feel like there's this battle within you of I want to see everything versus I want to relax. I would say if you're up in the air, allow yourself a little bit more relaxation. Not that you have to lay around and be bored the whole time, but like let yourself enjoy the moments without feeling like there's so much to do. Yeah, Queen of Wands in reverse. Take a little time for just you too. Like if you can have a couple moments with yourself, I feel like it's going to be very impactful, especially in like good view type areas. Like if you can catch that 5 minutes by yourself. Which type of contact lenses will suit best? The type for just one eye or other? Type for just one eye or other? I feel like that would make you dizzy just in one eye because I wear contacts, and at one time they tried to make a little bit stronger on one side than the other, and I was not well. Very dizzy. Okay, so type for one eye or other? Type for one eye. hold back on that change. Other, yes, healing. So other, whatever you mean by other, not one eye. Not the one eye one. Message from Spirit Guide. Message from Spirit Guide. In order to get clarity on something that feels overwhelming, there's a need to like pros and cons list, or there's a need to take a step back. Like some plan has developed, there's a need to go to the previous step and get clarity on a way to overcome the obstacle that you're now facing. So taking a step back to take steps forward. Will I finally find positive resolution when I submit the current dispute? Okay, so it's you taking action versus whatever you're taking action against that you need to dispute. What's the energy between? I feel like you're going to need more of something. So I don't know if this is a denial or if this is like, hold on, let's figure out how to get these answers. It doesn't feel like a quick solution here, though. It would be fair to say it's not a quick solution. Yeah, Page of Cups in reverse. Something kind of struggling to mature. I feel like they're going to need more of something. I don't think it's more time. I think it's more information or more data points or something like that. Message from my brother Johnny and a song. Hold on. I'll Follow the Sun by the Beatles. 2009 may be significant. I'm ready and don't give up. I feel like there's some encouragement here, like you're thinking about something and he's like, yeah, do that thing. Go take action, commit to that. You are stronger than you realize, especially when you embrace change instead of resisting it. Yeah, some kind of change you want to make that he's encouraging you to make. You don't have to be afraid of moving forward without all the answers. So this is like, you don't need to see every step of where this is going to take you. You're prepared to handle anything that could come in the path. So trust yourself to start taking those steps and trust that as you take a step, the next step will be revealed to you. And there's a dress and a hat. So it's like, it's kind of giving like fancy event vibes. Like you're ready to be either in the spotlight or you're ready to put yourself into action that maybe feels a little outside of your comfort zone. Message from Grandma M. That's All by Genesis. 2007 may be significant. That's all. The challenge you're facing is teaching you how to trust yourself more deeply. I know you wish things had happened differently, but it's okay to move forward without all the answers. It's almost like there is this battle between who you know you are right now and who you just grew out of or evolved from. And it's almost like she's saying, don't let the old mindset convince you that the new one never happened. Science thingy, biology, like something in your DNA, like it's almost giving like if you had to make a decision in front of her and you had to make a decision from you now or you then, she needs you to like do it like that because she knows you'll make the right decision in that case, if that makes sense. Hopefully I explained that right. Is the change something my dad will recommend? Is the change something my dad will recommend? Is the change something my dad? No, but it may be something that stems from like something he said. So maybe he says something and you're like, oh, that's a change. So it doesn't feel like directly, but it feels like potentially indirectly, or like a combination of things a couple people have said maybe. It doesn't feel like directly, but it feels like it may stem from that. Message from Rob for Erica and or Julia. Message from Rob. Message from Rob. There's a cooking on the back here, so maybe he cooked or is acknowledging missing one of their cooking. Summer was when I felt most alive. If you need to reconnect with me, go outside in the sun. I have 2 4s here, so it feels like this message is for both. You will find your strength in realizing you don't need permission to move forward. So there's this message here of like putting yourself out there, allowing yourself to experience things without being held down by guilt or grief or anything like that. There's this encouragement to like do things that make you feel alive. That's how I want to word that. Do you see me making any significant changes this year? Any significant changes this year? Okay, so not no, but I feel like this is the year that you really enact changes that you already started making. So it's like maybe I dabbled in this change, now I'm diving in. It feels like that, and it feels like that should happen that way before you commit to something else. So not that you shouldn't make changes, but there's a change you already started making that it would do a lot of benefit to more fully commit to, and that may lead to other changes, but it feels like there's some significance to that happening first. I feel like it's something in the health arena, like health or lifestyle change, fitness, something in that category. Who or what is the presence that we feel and hear in my sister's house? No. Someone who passed, who is coming from a place of love, and King of Pentacles, interesting. This feels connected to the people in the house more so than the house, like the other one. Would there be something significant, like some kind of decision that someone's making that would be at your sister's house? Like someone who goes to your sister's house trying to make some kind of important decision or directional change. It feels like this presence is attached to support in that, like a very stressful decision, supporting energy attached to that. My sister hasn't really helped me out during my mother's illness and my father's sudden passing. Why? Why has your sister not helped you out? 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Queen of Cups in reverse. So 10 of Pentacles in reverse is like, I'm not holding up my responsibility that I know that I have to my family because they would have done that for me. Queen of Cups in reverse, I don't want to feel these feelings. Empress in reverse, I feel like you're handling it. You have I feel like there's this belief that you have an easier time handling your feelings than she does. Like she believes that. So there's some bit of that, like, why am I going to get myself all stressed out and worked up if you're handling it just fine? Would for some reason she feel like people are going to look at her like she's just trying to get stuff out of this now? Like, I don't want it to look like I'm just trying to get like sympathy points or like financial something. There's some feeling about that as well wrapped in there, but that it feels. My brother stole, borrowed from my mother. She was so upset buying a 50G car. She passes away soon after, and my father passed away. And representative for his estate, he told me to sign this documentation. Did you say more? Is that why he's taking advantage of me again? You mentioned percentage of monthly rental. Is that why he's taking advantage of you again? Is that why he's taking advantage of you again? Hold on, I'm going to change this. And I feel like it's going to be important. Watch This by Will Rosen. And it's someone jumping from one cliff to the other. No, it doesn't really feel like that's why. It feels like this is more of like opportunity. Like, I'm doing it. Why stop? I almost want to say it doesn't entirely feel personal, at least not that part that you said. It feels more just like I'm doing what I got to do and what I have access to. It feels kind of like that. Where am I? Message from A. Message from A. You're going to notice that I speak through numbers, dates, and patterns. Who holds the missing piece? Check dates and timelines. Something doesn't add up. Something that doesn't make sense right now is going to make sense by A's next birthday or by your next birthday. Low U, high A, high A. By A's next birthday. It's almost like a message of hold on a little bit longer. It might not make sense now, but you're getting the pieces so that it can make sense then. So divine timing in play in some way. Energy between R and G. Does she love him? How does whichever one is she feel about? I feel like G is she. How does she feel about him? It's like a freeze state. Yes. I don't, yeah, it's weird. It's like, it feels like this is a relationship where someone's very comfortable. And it's not that there's not love there, because I feel like at some point there was. The world's here, though. So it's like, I'm not in this for the same reasons I was before. And there's no, like, there's logic, there's protection, there is, like, I know what to expect type energy. Not that there's not love, but I feel like there's something going on that it's not all the way just that. Oh, did I forget to turn that on? Hold on, let me check really quick. Okay, that's not working. Okay, it's not working. Hopefully I turned it on. I think I turned it on. The members thing. Any messages from my guides? Any messages from my guides? There's something you need to handle on your own. And it may be that you're handling something on your own right now and you're like, why aren't I getting any support? And it's because you're meant to handle it on your own. But I feel like this is more of an upcoming thing and you're going to know to kind of keep it close to the chest. It's almost like there's some major cycle that's attached to this that's wrapping up. So if you're handling something all on your own, the ability to make choices, you need to handle it on your own so you can trust your ability to make choices based off of your discernment. Will our lawsuit be settled this year? Will it be a significant amount? Will it be settled this year? That looks promising. What is this month? March 8, 9, 10, 11. I feel like the earliest would be the end of the year. I don't know. Okay, so I have Justice and Eight of Pentacles, which would be a lawsuit coming to completion. Eight of Pentacles would be commitment, but for some reason I'm reading that Eight of Pentacles as a more extended timeline than this year. So will it be settled? Yes. Will it be a little bit beyond the year timeline? I feel also yes. So maybe instead of saying this year, saying within a year feels more accurate. Because that Ten of Pentacles would be my confirmation of what I was thinking with that. And then will it be a significant amount? I feel like you have a pretty, what your idea ballpark middle is, I feel like is about what it will be, is kind of how I read that. Could she be alive? Could Nikki be alive? So what did I say? Something about being moved, something about someone else being in on it and helping to cover tracks. So knowing that, could she be alive? Could she be alive? Could she be alive? I would have to look into this more. I don't want to give like false hope, but Five of Cups in reverse could be potential path to resolution that would be positive, or it could be with Queen of Swords, like an intelligent intelligent way that she wouldn't be found. So like you'd never find the body type of situation, but it could also be a potential path for healing. I'd have to look into that a little bit more. I don't really know enough to know which direction the cards are going. I have to know like a little bit more first. Can you tell me if my parents' cases will have a favorable outcome? Can someone write a comment on the regular, not live, to remind me to look into that, please? That Nikki case. Now I'm interested. Have a favorable outcome. Yes. 10 of Wands in reverse, putting down a heavy burden. 10 of Cups upright, a wish fulfillment. 5 of Pentacles in reverse. Thank God this is finally over. Oop, I meant to click that one. What are Zeke's thoughts, feelings towards me after going in the live? Oh, this is for the podcast, right? What were the thoughts, feelings towards me after going in the live? Thoughts, feelings. What's Lover's reverse? I almost want to say this person may have expected, not in a bad way, but like maybe expected you to be a little bit more reserved or get a little bit of camera shyness or something, and it didn't happen. And it's almost like this I don't know, I guess like pleasant surprise. 8 of Wands in reverse. Thought it was going to be, thought your loudest voice was going to be quieter, like less impactful is kind of how I want to word that. Yeah, King of Swords in reverse. Not in a negative way. I feel like this is positive. Positive surprise about you not shrinking or hiding yourself in the process. Is there a message my Nan Faye to give her son David? Faye to David. Faye to David. The path ahead of you is unfolding in perfect timing, even when it feels slow. The cycle you're breaking is the belief that you are not enough. No, I read the wrong one. The habit of doubting your worth. So we're going to go with both. The path ahead of you is unfolding in perfect timing. The cycle you're breaking is the habit of doubting your own worth and letting pain define your choices. It feels like there's this energy here of a long time coming type experience that's going to lead to this, like, what do I have to lose? And there's this encouragement to follow that, not in like a reckless way, but more like I'm ready to step a little bit more and more and more into my power outside my comfort zone. It feels like there's an experience that's going to lead to that, and there's encouragement to trust himself with that. Is what John said to me in 2001 a curse that I still have not cleared? Curse cleared, mindset not. Self-limiting belief, and that could be wondering if that's attached to you, and not realizing that you're limiting certain things that you're thinking or believing because of the belief of what if it is. But it feels like, no, the world's wrapping up a cycle. Wheel of Fortune is like, it usually shows the four corners of protection. And the roulette is like, maybe this person tried to have that be the case, but it didn't stick. There's a completion of a cycle. So no. Oh, so has it been cleared? Yes. Is this still attached to you? No. If there was anything. Guidance on money. Guidance on money. What you need to know about your money situation. This kind of reads to me like passive income. Like, would there be a way to create some kind of passive income, or would there be a way to get even temporarily out of some kind of bind using either a talent you have or like a skill you have? So like, I'm able to dig down and find ways to alleviate this specific debt, or it feels like there's something like that you have access to intellectually or connectivity wise that you're not using in your favor to help alleviate a strain that would then start to produce positive forward motion. Trying to see if I didn't get anyone yet. Will the insurance be a problem for Allie getting a program? Is there anything we need to know or do? Will the insurance be a problem? Will the insurance be a problem? Would there be something that it would be difficult? Okay, so like, we'll approve this, but we need this from this person, and it's difficult to get them to give that to this person. Feels like there's something like that, like some back and forth. So what do you need to know? Maybe prepare ahead of time, getting all documents that you're like, I don't think I'd need that, but maybe at some point that would be that one piece that would be like, okay, let's just approve this type of thing. Will the insurance be a problem? Will it be a problem? Not one that you can't overcome. I feel like it's going to be a not like a showstopper, but like a hurdle that needs to be found a solution to. I agreed to go on a trip next month with BioMom, and now I'm not sure if I made the right decision. Is there any advice about this? Did you make the right decision? I was made to rise above it by I Prevail and Justin Stone. Yes and no. It's kind of given like darned if you do, darned if you don't type of thing. It's like, if you don't, you're going to keep questioning if you made the wrong decision. But if you do, it feels like there are going to be some moments that put you into this like deep thought spiral, like maybe thinking about, if I would have known in the past what I know now, how could my life have been different? It feels like there's some thoughts like that occur. But at the same time, if you don't go, you're going to be like, well, what am I missing out on? So I don't feel like you made the wrong decision. I just feel like there's a need to know that it's not necessarily going to be a walk in the park in terms of your mind. So there's a need to be very thoughtful about where your internal dialogue is heading. So don't not go, but just be mindful of that. Is spreading my message and guidance of conscious education and educational wellness my calling? How will I ultimately succeed in that? You're close to like going to the target of your calling. Queen of Wands in reverse. How would that translate in this situation? Conscious education and educational wellness. Is there a way to narrow that down and find like a more specified niche in that? In terms of your calling. Okay, so like now we're in this funnel, right? And you're like at the top of the funnel and your calling's at the bottom of the funnel, and you just have to find out how to let yourself slide down the funnel. Just pretend that makes sense. Oh yeah, like going down the funnel there. So it feels like there's something more specific you're getting to. You just need to be where you're at now to get there eventually. So the example I'm getting is like that show, Shark Tank, where like someone does something for a long time and they're like, there's a way to make this easier, and then they make something and then they sell that something they made. It feels like that's where you're going with that. Will my mother reconnect with me, or is her BF preventing it? Oh boy, is he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Will my mother reconnect with me, or is her boyfriend preventing it? Feels like she's holding back right now because she doesn't want to cause issues between her and the BF. I feel like not right now. I feel like this kind of feels like eventually there's going to be some kind of breaking point with that. Yeah, 9 of Wands in reverse. You're waiting for the dam to break and all the stuff that they've been holding back to come out. That may be when she reaches out to you for support during that time when that happens. Oh, some people will never change, unfortunately. What else do we need to know that would help you in this situation? Yeah, I mean, this is literally what you said. Release, being at peace, leaving it in the past. But that's just what you said. That doesn't really help you. There's something of value you can still get from this. A way to look at something differently, as to not carry a burden that was never yours to carry, that was shaping the way you saw something related to money. So a money wound, a self-worth wound, a self-concept wound. Look at anything that's attached to money that makes you feel hesitant to take action when you have ideas, or like you need to like have all the pieces in place. Feels like this is meant to help you shift perspective on whatever that mindset is attached to. So something positive to get out of the negative. How was I perceived by the chat during the live? Good or bad overall? How was I perceived? Very good. Any downside? No. If I could get a downside out of this, what would it be? I would say if anything, they may have been like, oh wow, she doesn't really do this a lot and she's doing well. So maybe like awareness that you don't usually interview, but like you're doing well in the one that you are doing. Yeah, I would say well. Did I hear my deceased cat last night, or was it just my imagination? Other side of the veil, like coming over to your side of the veil when you're sleeping or at night. Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Lost opportunity. I'm coming on the other side of the veil when you're sleeping. Lost opportunity. Lost opportunity. What would that mean for a cat? Lost opportunity. Justice in reverse. I want a longer goodbye, or I'm trying to remind you of a specific time or a specific memory or something like that as like another goodbye. I would say yes. My brother had an MRI and they found a mass in his brain that's touching his spine. Is it cancer? Will he be okay? And would surgery be safe and successful? Oh, okay. So, found a mass in his brain and it's touching his spine. Is it cancer? I have the devil. Don't love that. I have the devil for that. What's going with the devil? The tower. I would say to prepare for that to be the case. Or at least at the very least something that they will need to check back up on to make sure it hasn't turned into it. So maybe it's one of those things where it's like we remove something and then we need to go back in and see if we removed it all. Or something. It feels like it's going to be something. The tower and the devil. It's going to be something very stressful. Will he be okay? Will he be okay? Will he be okay? I mean, I feel like he's in very good hands. King of Swords and Knight of Cups is definitely promising. And see the sword and the atomic heart. Would surgery be safe and successful? I feel like this is connected to that. Healing and balance. I'll word it like this. I feel like they're going to find something that they're going to have to do a risky surgery to make it be able to heal as good as and long as possible. And I feel like that's going to go well, but I feel like there's going to be a lot of stress around it because there's going to be a risk associated with it. I don't really feel like a trial thing. I just feel like maybe like a well, the brain would obviously be a big risk no matter what, but like maybe it's like the exact location of something or like the depth of something. I feel like there's going to be a factor like that, but I also feel like he's in the right hands to deal with it. Will my daughter's cruise in August to Alaska be safe? I did a cruise to Alaska before with my parents when I was young. So fun. And it actually wasn't like unbearably cold, and I'm always cold. Okay, anyway. Will it be safe? Safe, yes. But I feel like there's something like I don't get to do all the things I wanted to do because I run out of time, or like because maybe like something is delayed, or maybe weather. Ironically, because I just said the weather isn't that bad. It's like something we don't get to do all the way because of a delay, but it feels safe. Jake's stepbrother is home now, physically okay, but cognitively not. Insight into his healing and recovery, and if he does or will remember me. I feel like it's going to be a long haul. I feel like it's going to be a long haul to get things balanced, and there's going to be good days, and there's going to be days when it feels like all the progress that you made is gone. It feels very like that, very up and down, very drastic highs and lows is how I would word that. Insight into his healing and recovery. you're going to have to keep trying different things until you find what works. And that being said, I feel like you're going to try a couple things that aren't going to work at first, and you're going to have to keep trying, recognizing when something has stopped working efficiently and figure out a different solution. I feel like it's going to be trial and error a lot. Does or will remember you. Right now I feel like there's this, I feel like I remember you, but my memory is not serving me correctly. So like I'm filling in blanks incorrectly is how I'd word that. But Death and Wheel of Fortune, I do feel like there's an opportunity for that to change, but it's going to be difficult. And Don't Stop Believing just started playing too. Not for nothing. So don't give up hope on it. A message for the month of April. A message for the month of April. The solution that you're seeking externally comes from within this month in April. April showers bring May flowers. So you find the solution in April and enact it in May, or get some kind of progress from it in May. Or June, two in reverse, May or June. So something comes to your realization in the month of April that you then water it and it blooms within the next 2 months. Linda, do I not have that on? Hold on, let me try and bring up really quick to make sure I have members only on. One sec. Yeah, I do. Okay. Oh no. Wrong screen. Okay. Can I get a message from my grandmother? Can I get a message from my grandmother? Oh. Step forward even when the path isn't fully clear. What's ahead of you is an opportunity to rewrite your story. Step ahead of you even when the path isn't clear. There's an opportunity to rewrite your story. Recent events have put the pen back in your hand. Instead of waiting for the environment to open up, you're now kind of rewriting the environment itself. So be very selective with who you let into your atmosphere right now, because that pen is writing in every detail. So make sure that the details you don't want there are not ones that you're focusing on. Advice for the next 6 months and a token. It's a black cat. Nope, it's not that one. It's the one I don't have the booklet for. Black cat. What are we getting at with black cat? You're going to be facing something that feels scary, but after you face it, it doesn't feel as scary as you perceived it to be before. So it feels like a fear of some sort is coming to be addressed, but as you're addressing it, it's like a relief or a release, because you're like, oh, that's what I was so scared of. It wasn't as bad as I thought, type of thing. What will the next 3 months bring in love? What will the next 3 months bring in love? Feels like there's 2 different focuses here, but I don't even think that these are 2 different people. I think this is the choice between focusing on someone else or focusing on yourself. And it feels like you're hesitating to make this decision because it requires some kind of action that once you take the action, it's difficult to undo the action. But I feel like there's a need to know that the time you spend focusing on yourself will not be in vain. Has my late Aunt Irene been helping me on my spiritual journey? Helping me on my spiritual journey in a big way. The Tower and the Wheel of Fortune. 9 of Wands in reverse is like, I had to come over to this side of the veil to help you specifically. P.S. I love you always. Nothing, not time, not distance, not even death can change how much I love you. That love is woven into you, into your days, into everything you do. No matter where life takes you, no matter how much time passes, my love will always be with you. You are never alone and never will be. So she very much wanted to say yes in a direct way. Specifically with preparation to be vulnerable in a safe feeling way. What should I focus on? What should I focus on? Learning how to trust yourself to face the shadow wounds. Feels like right now you're looking for an external focus, but the focus needs to be internal. Journaling, writing, like maybe just recording yourself talking through things. It just feels like there's things that you haven't said out loud because you don't have anyone you trust enough to say them to. So let yourself talk through those emotions with yourself, even if you need to like burn it after. There's some kind of like increasing decision-making type self-trust that comes from holding space for yourself in that way. How will the Norwegian economy develop through 2025? This gives me dictator vibes. I don't know that much about the Norwegian economy at all, but I feel like this is like one person kind of getting fed up of something and being like, I'm overhauling this thing because it's not going the way I want it to. So I kind of would word this as an overhaul of something. That 9 of Cups in reverse, maybe stressful, but the intention is to produce some kind of positive outcome. So it's like we need to change this temporarily to reestablish this funding thing, and then hopefully it'll balance itself out after. Will I hear good news by the end of the week? Will I hear good news by the end of the week? I feel like this is kind of the energy of you're waiting for some kind of final news on something. It feels like the final decision is delayed or not yet happening. 8 of Pentacles is reversed, so it's like I'm back and forth on something. I'm back and forth on a final decision. Justice in reverse, so it's like you know that saying, no news is good news? That's like not the case here. It's like you needed news, but no news is actually good news because it means that there's no bad news. Feels like there's a delay of sorts. My elderly female neighbor, also named Sandy, passed away a few years ago. I'm in the middle of a decision on divorce. He sleeps on the couch. Maybe she will be here until that is done. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Death. Queen of Wands in reverse. Puppeteer in reverse. Change, lack of confidence, someone else pulling the strings. Change, lack of confidence, giving you the power to pull the strings. Yeah, that makes sense. I've been through something similar, maybe, or I have the insight to support. This is like I'm supporting you until you feel confident enough to support yourself. That could be the case, yeah, especially if you were close with that person. Message for love. Message for... Interesting. It feels like you're going to have an experience with another person that brings in a lot of emotions. And this doesn't feel to be negative or positive. It kind of feels to be both. So it could be a positive situation that triggers potentially like not negative, but like shadow wound type things. Like when you're having fun doing something and you're like, oh, I'm thinking about this thing that's making me sad, that type of thing. Or the opposite. It feels more like that one, but it feels like whatever this is opens a new chapter for you. Like this is the important door to opening of a new chapter. Should my mom and I go to Arizona for our birthday vacation to see my cousin, or will we have a better experience somewhere else? Arizona or better experience somewhere else? I don't feel like you'll get everything you want out of it in Arizona. So it's like maybe you want to like see certain thing. I guess I'd say it feels like by going to Arizona, you're not going to have a bad time. It's just a different experience that feels less fulfilling than if you were. I feel like one of you or your mom have like an idea in mind. Like, I'd really like to do this, but let's go to the cousins. I feel like I really would like to do this, even if it's just a thought right now. I feel like that may be more fun or more expansive. Should I go ahead and move out? Does staying in the same house confuse my husband on a decision to separate? Should I go ahead and move out? Should I go ahead and move out? Is there, before doing that big of a leap, because I feel like for you, it's going to put you in this state of everything's not wrapped up yet. And so you're saying, would it confuse, does it confuse him that you're staying there? I feel like it may confuse you leaving just cold turkey type of thing. I feel like there's like, could you start to spend time out of the house, get your feelings caught up on like, okay, this is real. This is how it feels. Let me start to deal with these feelings as they come up. I feel like there's another step before that that could help like ease you into it. Does it confuse your husband? I don't know if I'd go with confuse, more so just like, oh, well, that's obviously never going to happen. So that's kind of how that feels. What did Zach think about me during the live? What does he think now? What does he think about you during the live? Blackbird by Sarah McLachlan. You were always waiting for this time to fly. What did he feel about you during the live? This is like either you taught me something or you gave me a mindset shift or perspective that I did not expect to get from you. What does he think now? Interesting. Not really thinking about you. This is like is there something you said that could have led this person down a rabbit hole? Like my initial thought when you said it was that you were wrong, but now I'm looking into it and I'm on this rabbit hole because I'm realizing you were onto something or you opened my eyes to something and now I just can't leave it alone. Would that make sense? Like something you opened that person's eyes to, like an Easter egg level of sorts. That's what I'm getting with that. I'm on the fence about calling my mother for Mother's Day this Sunday. Verdict, please. On the fence for calling her. See how she's like reaching her hand out? Like, I feel like, if you don't, you're gonna blame the distance on the between the two of you going forward more on yourself, when I don't feel that that's necessarily the case. So I feel like doing that will kind of help take it off your back in some way. Six of Pentacles is giving and receiving, so it's like, if you don't try, you'll never know, and that may bother you more than knowing, at least I tried. Does that make sense? Message from your dad. Message from your dad. Look at what you're resisting. What are you avoiding? That's where the truth is. What comes next is filled with more peace than the past ever held. So some kind of ease in the next chapter is waiting on your decision right now. As 100 years is the song, 5 for fighting. If you want to get to the top, you have to take the stairs. Some kind of decision you make now is what gets you there. And I have Head Above Water by Avril Lavigne playing. Any messages from my spirit guides? Any messages from my spirit guides? You're about to get some kind of idea that's a different way to do something you're already doing. And there's a need to trial and error it, because it's opening the door for something that gives you a competitive edge. So it feels like that may be career related with the competitive edge wording. Should I stay at my current company or look around? If leave, what should I do next, and what is the best timing? Stay at your current company or look around. I feel like there's a need to give something a chance before you walk away from the current company. I feel like this is going for some kind of like increased responsibility, promotion, raise, project, something, depending on what you do. This is like knowing that potentially leaving is a possibility for you. What could you try to ask for that if they say no, then you're like, okay, well, I already kind of want to leave anyway, so let me start to put feelers out there. Feels like that kind of situation. Like, try to see what you can get. Try to see if you can get what you want out of where you already are first. Rambling Rose. Let me see. Did I miss you this time? Hold on. Rambling Rose, Rambling Rose. I don't see you. Oh, Anne Irene. I did that one, right? I think I did that one. If I didn't, let me know and I'll do it, but I think I just did that one. Okay, Arizona. Calling Mother. Where'd I go? Hold on one second. A message from my daddy passed in 1994 on today's date. Interesting. Interesting. Look in the physical world. A letter, note, or item left behind contains more than you think. What comes next is filled with more peace than the past ever held. So this could be encouragement to kind of look over something of his today. Like, maybe the connection with that will bring some sense of peace or some sense of revelation of sorts. But there's something significant about connecting the dots from something from the past that you could experience today in combination with moving forward. If you want to get to the top, you have to take the stairs. Could it Could it be some kind of photos, some kind of video? It's like encouragement to connect with that. It will bring you more peace than you expect. So kind of like, don't worry about him. He's worried about you, and like that sense of longing. Trying to help ease the sense of longing that his absence produced by you connecting with something from the past. Letter, picture, video, something like that. Almost like he'll speak to you in a different way through it. What is the real holdup on getting job offer from MG? What is the holdup from MG? A private offer they made another person that they're trying to see if they're going to take. 5 of Swords in reverse. It's almost like we offer somebody else this position, and if they say no with this experience at this pay rate, then anyone that we bring in with less experience, we can offer less pay rate, but we're trying to get that person in first. That's kind of how I read that. Would there be someone that they would like have to offer the job to first? It feels kind of like that, if that makes sense. Any guidance on my love life, please? Any guidance on my love life? Needing to learn how to communicate in a way that will allow the other person to hear you. So it might not be necessarily the right type of way to communicate, but it's like you need to, if you want to make progress, it might not be your ideal method of communication, but there's a need to figure out which way that person will be able to actually hear you, because it feels like right now there's disassociation from the other person. So needing to find a way to communicate that doesn't make them auto disassociate, because when they do, they're not hearing you. Message for my cousin's daughter, Maya, from her guides and a song. Am I in the wrong playlist? No. I don't like any of these for this. Hold on a second. Play that song by Train. Guides communicating through music. I feel like maybe she had an inkling about that, and this would be the confirmation of it. Clarity, strength, justice in reverse. Oh, for cousin's daughter from guides. Guides are saying to her they're communicating with her through music to help give her clarity on how to overcome something that feels unfair. Will my mom be okay from the blood clot they found today? Will she be okay from the blood clot they found today? Blood clot plus slowing down. Blood clot plus slowing down. Something's clotting. It's causing everything to slow down. It feels like there's a need to like almost stop everything until this is addressed. I guess what I'm getting at there is it feels like any bit of stress is going to make it a lot more difficult, like almost like it's on the tip of something and it could really go either way is kind of how it feels. And it feels like the less she does, stress, I guess, movement, I don't know, whatever the doctors are saying to not do, don't do any of it. And I feel like there's something that needs to be stopped, like some kind of like not the best habit that it's like, okay, now with this, let's stop doing that completely type of thing. That may have to do with like diet, nutrition, some kind of have it like that. It feels like whatever that is, need to get her to not do that anymore. So it feels like she can really be okay, but there's a need to listen to the doctor's advice to a T, because it feels like right on the edge of where it could get a lot worse. Where is it? This one, the Unveiled Tarot. I love it. Amazon. And it's cool because look, when you open the bottom of the box, and it has that, and then when you open the box, it's really cool. Really cool. Really cool. When will I have my back surgery, and will everything be okay? I do feel like you're going to need it, the surgery itself. If you have a time frame, I would add 5 to 7 weeks or months. It feels more like months. It feels like there's an extension to your current timeline, because it feels like there's a need to get something else put in place first. I don't know if it's insurance and like referrals, or if it's like life things, like I need to sort out my life for when I'm going to be out type of thing. It feels like there's some strategy in place that's needed that's going to delay the timeline. Will everything be okay? I feel like the healing process may take longer, and there may be something where it's like, I don't want to move that way because that hurts for a while, but it feels like it will be okay. It just feels like there's something that like you don't like for a little bit. No. New member, thank you. This one. It's not logical to spend time explaining yourself to people who've proven they lack the depth needed to actually understand you. It's time to move forward. It feels like you've been trying to not verbally, but like give people the opportunity to see that you are who you say you are, or you are going to stand 10 toes down on what's important to you. And it's like you've given certain people a chance to either see you and get on board, or not see you. And it feels like the people who haven't seen you yet are choosing to not see you. So it's not for your lack of showing them, it's just for their willingful blindness. Can I have a message and song to guide me this week? A Lot More Free by Max McNown is the song. A Lot More Free. There's a need to focus on solutions, not problems this week. It feels like the problems will, or the frustrations, not problems, frustrations. The frustrations will feel to like cripple you if you focus on them. But there's a need to shift focus this week and figure out a way to handle something a little bit differently than you were before. It may be making you feel a little vulnerable to approach it in a different way, but there's also a necessity to do that. How soon should I start looking for a job? I would start looking now. It feels like that topic is causing you a lot of stress. Like, will I be able to get what I want? Will I be able to get the time schedule or whatever? So starting that process will kind of show you what's needed from you to find what it is that you need to fill those slots. So I would say sooner rather than later. And that may also be that it's going to take a little while, and doing it sooner would help with the time frame. What my two sons, Cody and Travis, think about me, and will there be a reconciliation? They're both very selfish. Let's look at Cody and Travis. I feel like Travis's mind is a little bit more it feels like he's maybe a little bit more stubborn out of the two when it comes to, like, once I've made a decision on something, I'm very not going to go back and show you that I thought my initial decision was wrong type of thing. So it seems like there's a little bit more reluctant energy coming from Travis, whereas Cody is currently defending that decision, but might not always. It feels like there's a little bit more wiggle room, and it feels like if you can wiggle in with Cody a little bit, maybe we have the two major arcana next to each other, right? And then we have another one over here. So this is like, I'm big done, but maybe I could wiggle room you in. So it feels like if you're going to focus on trying to get a little bit of foot in the door with one of them, I would start with Cody. Feels like there's one thing you could use with Cody to start to open that door. Just one. Like one, maybe one opportunity, like maybe one like event, or maybe one topic, like this is what I use to get you to talk type of thing. Insight on this intense anxiety and self-doubt that's been coming up in a song. Hurt Somebody by Noah Kahan. Taking it slowly, I'm afraid to be lonely. Nobody told me it's harder than I thought to tell the truth. It's going to leave you in pieces, all alone with your demons. And I know that we need this, but I've been too afraid to follow through. Insight on the intense anxiety, because you're finally living in the reality that you thought of for so long. You thought of making these big changes, and now your anxiety is, I've walked through this door that's now locked behind me. So you're walking into the unknown. That doesn't mean it's a bad thing, but it does mean it's going to be scary. But that's not anything you can't handle. Not that just, I literally picked this up and went to shuffle, an alienation wound. So when you, in the past, when you have felt in fear of not knowing what comes next, you have alienated yourself. So your brain is telling you it's time to alienate, and I don't want to, so here's some anxiety. So don't alienate. Allow yourself to keep being supported and seen. Go in the opposite direction of the fear. I got 2 cats in the trap because I changed from the monster trap you saw. Oh, awesome. That's good. So will you get the last cat? Will you get the last cat? Will you get the last cat? I mean, yeah, but not quickly. Okay, so you have a trap. You changed it from the monster trap. Is there like a pre-trap? Like I need to get this cat in a, just example, I need to get the cat in the trap in the garage. So I leave like a cat door. It's like I need to get him into the big environment to then get him into the little environment. So I like booby trap a cat door. So when he comes in, typically he'd be able to go back out, and now he can't. I feel like that's kind of what I'm being seen is needed for this cat that's left. Giving you a run for your money, I guess is what I would say. Dee's feelings towards me romantically. Dee's feelings towards me romantically. Avoidance, suppression. If I'm feeling it, I'm pushing it back down. Would it make sense if I say, like, if I'm D, you make me feel things. I don't like to feel things, so I push them back down. Am I meant to not choose my relationship and move on, even if it feels right to stay in what we've built? How do I want to ask this? Am I meant to not choose my relationship and move on? Let me do that part first. Am I meant to not choose my relationship and move on? I feel like right now there's been a lot of work put into this, but it doesn't feel as good on the inside as you want it to look on the outside. And that's not for the looks, but it's like you want to have this certain feeling attached to the relationship, and I feel like it's not all the way there. So I feel like there's a need to either build more to get there, or at least address what's lacking, that it's not that which you want. Like, if you've built this much, what do you have to lose by addressing things that may be a little bit more uncomfortable, type of thing? Because if you have the foundation, it should be able to hold up to the more uncomfortable, let's talk this out and get it even better type conversations. Guidance on my professional life, and if your brother Travis is okay, at peace after his passing. Professional life. There's a need to slow down and readdress something that feels like it's not budging professionally. Like if you can't go through the obstacles, sometimes you need to create a map to go around it, type of thing. And that doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It's just that's how it works sometimes. And it feels like Six of Pentacles is like giving and receiving. You need to give yourself the opportunity to receive a different solution that you're not seeing right now, because there's a need to take a step back. The Fool. Taking a leap forward. Taking a step back. It's that moon quote. One small step and one giant leap. It's that. Take a little step forward so you can take a little step back so you can take a giant leap forward. What do we need to know from Travis? You don't need to feel guilty about choosing to embrace happiness instead of grief. He's like, don't worry about me. I'm worried about you. I want you to be happy. You're the one who's still dealing with all this stuff. If You're Feeling Down by J Dam just came on. We aim for innovation, lack of preparation, and even with no gas, we'll be quick with the racing. It's like, when you need me, I'll be there. I'm going to put the other playlist back on. Is the thing I should be focusing on the discovery of how my brain works, or something else? The discovery of how my brain works, or something else? So Mean Guy by Genevieve Strokes is playing, and I was thinking here, it feels more related to emotions than psyche. Focusing on the discovery of how my brain works. Can you trace it back and start with the emotions? Start with the emotions and understanding and unpacking them, maybe, in a way, and then branch over to brain? I guess like the emotions would be the foundation of what needs to be understood in the realm of psyche. Does JM just want to be friends or something more? Does JM want to be friends or something more? I feel like at this point, friends. Eight of Pentacles in reverse is a lack of commitment. Three of Cups in reverse, maybe this person's not ready to settle down with one person. In the future, they may be with Three of Wands, but I don't feel like they are right now. What date do you think my sister will have her baby, and what is she having? Let's see. I don't usually get gender. Gender's a little bit difficult in tarot, but let's see what we get here. Six of Swords. Magician. So funny. I said I usually don't get gender, and they're all, I mean, that's a It's a male. I feel like she may go 1 to 6 days early. Chariot is reversed. Oh, Chariot's reversed. Maybe Chariot upright would be early. 1 to 6 days late. 1 to 6 days late. I'm not getting a gender. I don't really like doing genders that much, but let me see what I get for. Yeah, I'm not getting anything for gender. Wrap it up, confusion. And Adam Eve with the apple. I feel like healthy, but I'm not getting gender. But I feel like 1 to 6 days late from the due date. Will the laser treatment remove the brown mark on my face? And is the clinic I'm thinking of the best choice? You may need more than one session. 8 of Cups in reverse is like strength. So yes, they help. There's nothing to worry about. 9 of Swords in reverse. It may be that this particular mark is stubborn to treatment and needs extra treatments or something like that, but it does feel like that's the right hands to help you. Can you get a song from my brother Travis for us to communicate? If I Didn't Have You by Thompson Square. If I Didn't Have You by Thompson Square. Oh, the like DNA, sister brother connection. Let's see. What would he say to you about the song If I Didn't Have You by Thompson Square, which says this life would kill me if I didn't have you? The legacy I leave behind is a reminder that love never dies, it only transforms. So can I talk to you? Yes, I can. The thing I loved most about our time together was the connection that never faded, even after death. He's like, yeah, I'm right here. Message for you to communicate. Forever young and message in a bottle. Message in a bottle. Emotions. Forever young. I'm always able to be here. What group of song could you make a playlist with a group of songs specifically that when you listen to them it almost what is that word, like when you freeze someone in time? So songs that aren't related to his passing, songs that aren't related to like how I move on from here, but songs are like, these songs remind you of me from when, from back then. Feels like making a playlist like that and then kind of shuffling that when you need a specific, like, I need support right now, let me shuffle this, and then boom, that's exactly what I needed to hear. But not now, like death songs, before songs. Remember me that way. How to heal my abandonment wound. How to heal my abandonment wound. Reconnecting with your inner child. Oh, not the 6 of Cups. But like by that, I mean letting your inner child out. Your abandonment wound feels to have made you hide or shrink. And this is like the opposite. How can I shine a spotlight on my inner child instead of making my inner child shrink? But first I need to make my inner child comfortable with that. And not doing it in a way that would make you feel out of your comfort zone per se, but like you truly seeing the parts of your inner child that had to shrink or hide before feels to be significant. That can be through like writing, or that can be through stand-up comedy, or that could be through a therapy session, but it's like seeing the parts of your inner child that had to hide for so long. Should I write a letter to SR or continue to hold off? I don't know if that's senior, but I always want to say senior whenever you say that. Should I write a letter to SR? Should you write the letter to SR? Or should you hold off? Should you write the letter? Yes, take a gamble. Should you hold off? Can you start to write it and then sit on it for a little bit? Like I write it, I complete it, I take my time with it, and then next week I look back and make sure it's still how I want it. And the week after that, I make sure it's still how I want it. And then at that point, I can send it. Feels like that. Will Jonathan get hired for the job he just applied for? Will Jonathan get hired for the job he just applied for? I don't like this that much. Let me see what song comes up. Oh, it's not on shuffle. Hold on. Let Me Go by Haley Steinfeld, and it's the airmail, like a letter, something getting lost in the mail. I almost feel like something about this job is not accurately represented in a way that like he wouldn't want it if he did get it. I don't feel like he's going to get it though. The Tower, 8 of Cups, unfulfilled. I feel like there's something that's better coming though, because this feels to be not in alignment. I will be opening spots again on the 1st, which is, when is that? That's Tuesday, right? Yeah, I'll open more spots on Tuesday on Stand Store. And I still have a couple that I have to finish and a couple mods readings I have to finish. So if you didn't get yours yet, today and tomorrow I'm working on them. Message from my guides for this week. Message from my guides for this week. You might not get what you want, but you're getting what you need, because what you need is to not get what you think you want, so there can be space for what you actually need. So how would that translate? Like, patience this week. You might not get all the movement you want it to get this week, but it's because things are being put into place in your benefit. So I guess I'd say make the most of what feels like frustration. She's due the 13th of May. April, May, 13th. So 14, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What do you mean about May 14th to 19th? Healthy baby. Protected baby. Protected baby. I think May 14th to 19th feels to stick out to me. I feel like the closer it gets to the 19th, though, the more, obviously, the more done she's going to be. But I almost feel like there's this, like, don't let it get that long. So maybe like in that 1 to 4 day time frame instead of 1 to 6. Why is there a lull at the moment, and how can I get out of it? Why is there a lull? Once you put down the heavy burden, you'll move forward. What's this Magician card? Why is there a lull? You're meant to be realizing, I don't need to go look for this. I already have it, or I already have the ability to create it, or something to that effect. Neglect wound. Emotional repression. Oh, neglecting certain emotions. They need to be put down to move forward. Why is there a lull? What emotion or wound does the period of waiting and feeling like you don't have control of the waiting? Like, I am waiting for something that's beyond my control, what wound is triggered by that, because that's the key to moving forward. So there's a need to address that wound, and then the lull will not lull because you'll have learned what you needed to from it. Oh yeah, I'm hopping off in a couple minutes. Did I say that? I don't remember. I need to eat. Oh, he applied for UPS. Funny you mentioned mail. Is it possible he wouldn't be starting at the, like, he needs to be starting at more or something like that? Like, is there a UPS, maybe USPS, maybe a different mail carrier? It feels like close, but like there's something better. What do my guides think about my recent idea for a book topic? I would say go forward with it, but there's something to loosen the control of. So like, yes, but be open to, like, as you're doing the process, it doesn't have to follow a certain hard structure. So yes, but don't be too, I just want to use the word nitpicky of sticking to exactly how you think it's going to play out. So yes, but be fluid. All right, last one, and then I'm hopping off. Will Brian Albert do jail time for any reason in the future? Will Brian Albert, from the Boston John O'Keefe case, McKeefe, who's that? Will he do jail time for any reason in the future? I feel like right now they don't have enough on him. It's like there's some confusion about how to use what we do have. We can't necessarily use because we're missing certain pieces. So like, would what we have prove certain things? Yes, but without other things, it's not a sure case. So it feels like there's some hesitancy to that right now. Will he ever? If need be, to protect someone else. If he goes down, it's because they were getting too close to a bigger fish. That's how that feels. All right, everyone, I'm going to hop off. I need to go eat. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm going to send out an email to everyone who is on the purchase list, but the Afterlife Outbox is on its way to me. I should have that between the 1st and the 4th. So I'm hoping to get them all shipped out by the 5th if they're here by then. That's all. Talk to you all soon. If you still are waiting for a reading, I have a couple left. I think I have like 4 left, and then mods readings. So if you're waiting, hopefully by tomorrow or the next day, I will have that too. Talk to you all soon.